Good evening and welcome back to the channel, guys. Hope you're all doing okay, or welcome to the channel if you are new. I'm Galaxier. I do weekly news videos for you, everything going on in the universe from high sec, low sec, well maybe not high sec because not a massive amount goes on in high sec apart from when updates go live and there's wars going on for a mass amount of structures going on, or extortion, that kind of thing, but also covering low sec, null sec, everything to do with null sec, all the sovereign fights and everything like that. And also we dabble into wormhole intel as well. I want to say intel. It is kind of restricted what you can get from wormholers because a lot of it is quite secretive due to being in a wormhole, but we do try and look into what we can. So if you are new, guys, a subscribe would really be appreciated, as I think I'm gonna try and get to 6,000 subscribers by the end of the year. It is a push. I got to 5,000 about a week or two ago now, and I've done absolutely amazing with that. But I believe 60% of people that watch the videos aren't actually subscribed. So if you are not subscribed and you're watching the video, please subscribe. It would really help me out and get me to 6,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Also, I've decided we're going to do a giveaway on every single video. So if you are watching the video and you want to join the giveaway, whatever the giveaway is, because they change the skins that are the partner skins that are available, I'll be putting a picture in the bottom right of the screen right now on what ship is available, and all you need to do is comment. Just comment down below and I will pick a comment at random to give a skin to. So this week's news, it is delayed by a day because I was late at work last night. I didn't get home till about 9 o'clock at night. It was a crazy evening. And we are going to be looking into quite a few things today. So there's a lot to cover around the nullsec area, which sovereignty movements, member movements, that kind of stuff. There's also been a few things to look at on Zkill. So there's been a couple very high value lost mails that have happened. We're going to be looking on Dotlan to check out the sovereignty campaigns that are going on. We're going to be looking at, as I said before, alliance member movements, who's been going to where, or what alliances have been picking up members since Pandemic Horde collapsed in on itself and where they are up to right now. We're going to be doing a little bit of speculation on the future of Pandemic Horde, where they're going to actually go, because they can't sit in its couch for forever, and I believe the agreement was Darkshines would give them a month or two just to recoup and get themselves back together again. And we are also going to be taking a look at drone lands to see what's going on over there right now, since that agreement between the Imperium and Winter Coalition about setting up some free ports and allowing members or new alliances to come in, take space and grow there. So we're going to be diving into all that, guys, so stay tuned, and also remember, like the video. So we're going to be looking at Dotlan first, have a looking at movements around the universe to see who's been going where. So just looking down here, and I'm going to move it because I've had to move my my fat Swede out of the way so we can actually see stuff, because having it over here, not ideal. So Pandemic Horde have lost 132 systems in the last 7 days, which all of this is completely to be expected. Northern Coalition are following them as well, but what we are seeing is I think that's Great Wildlands Conservation Society have taken 44 systems. Let's have a quick browse to see where they're going. Brotherhood of Spacers, they've also taken 31 systems. Siege Green have taken 29 systems. Slow Children at Play have taken 20 systems. So Great Wildlands Conservation Society have taken these systems in the Spire. Yes, it is the Spire. Let's have a quick look on the map to see where they are. Not that one. That was it. So let's have a look on the map. So they've taken pretty much the whole region, apart from these last few here that Northern Coalition are holding. I think those Northern Coalition ones will probably fold as well. But with them taking all of these systems, this allows, because that alliance actually only has 618 members, this means one of two things. They have taken the space so they can exponentially grow their alliance and get more members, because they can now say, hey, look, we have a region in Dronelands. Come join us. We can give you space to mine. We can give you space to do some ratting. We can give you space to do some industry. We can get space for you to build and fly capital ships. And we can also now get some PvP. So that is absolutely great to see that an alliance has taken. I mean, it is very, very, what's the term I want to use? It is very optimistic of them to take such a huge portion of space for themselves. But if they can hold that space with a huge recruiting drive, which they are going to have to do, in my opinion, if they want to defend all of this, they are going to have to recruit quite a lot to cover all of this. There are actually some really nice space here. So if we go on security, they've got some really good true sec systems. So some very, very nice potential ratting systems here. So with Equinox, the lower the the lower the true sec of the system, and with the ratting upgrades into the sovereignty hub, means you can have way, way, way more combat sites. And having this many low true sec ones, these are going to be very good ratting systems. And then you've got these ones down here. So how will you do it in the Imperium is the true sec systems normally power workforce dependent. They end up like ratting hubs. So you have loads and loads and loads of havens and sanctums and stuff like that to make ratting really, really profitable. And then these ones that you can't really put good upgrades in end up being mining systems. So you'll have all your mining upgrades for your ore anomalies in these systems. So they've got a pretty good regional split here with ratting space up there and then potential mining space down here. So they can appease to quite a wide audience with their space. And personally, I hope these guys grow and gain momentum, get a few thousand members behind them, and get themselves in a really solid place. So I'm hoping that goes well for them. All the best to Great Wildlands Conservation Society. Just had to double check the name there. Didn't want to butcher it. Brotherhood of Spaces. These guys have gained Peregrine Falls, which we will now look on the map. We'll go on the map and have a look at Peregrine Falls, which is mainly Bosk up here, which is Brotherhood of Spaces. You've got TBA, which are the Borg Armada. Nice. And all this Horde space down here is reinforced, ready to be taken. And there's also warping the pattern. See, this is what's so good about this. I've actually never heard of these alliances. And that's a good thing, because that means new groups that aren't affiliated with anyone are coming to the Dronelands to strike out strike out in nullsec. They're putting a bit of a risk on the line with money and assets, with Fortizars and stuff like that to get going. But if this gamble pays for them, we could be seeing a big number of new groups coming to nullsec, which is absolutely amazing. And so Brotherhood of Spaces are predominantly in here, in Peregrine Falls. And they do still have their space behind us, which is not, or do they? No, they do. They do. I'm pretty sure they do. Hang on a second. Mist. Boss, yeah, they've still got their space in Mist. And they've dropped Sov here. I'm not sure what's happening here. And they've dropped Sov here, as well as Slow Children at Play. I don't know what they're going to do with this space, as it is tucked right behind Imperium. All Imperium systems are here. So I don't know what these guys are going to do with these systems. I don't know if they're just going to hand them over to us, or if they're going to... I don't know. I actually don't know. And whatever they've got there, I'm pretty sure Imperium will let them through. Just to, if they're saying to Imperium, right, you can come and you can take the space, let us move our assets out, we'll be out your way, and you won't have to even consider us in the future. Maybe. I don't know. Again, not any form of directorate or anything like that, because I don't want a space job. So Brotherhood of Spaces are out here, which is good. I think that's a good move. Siege Green These guys are out in Oasa. They do have a system in Delve, RF TAC, which has just gone up to strategic level 5. Nice. So they're out in Oasa, which is being more of it is being taken. So we've also got Shadow Cartel. It's been a while since I've actually seen them around. Nice. See, this is a good thing. Like, Cougar was here. I know who those guys are. I know who those guys are. They were in Faith Abyss, I believe, when we moved from Delve over to here. So if I can, Cougar was here. I can't remember where they were, but I'm pretty sure they were in Faith Abyss anyway. So if I click on here, it might actually show me where they did have systems. No, it doesn't. Okay, we'll have. I'll look into that, and I'm pretty sure they were in. Was it Faith Abyss? It was either Tenerife or Faith Abyss. What? Hang on. Here, it was here. Was it Cougar was here? Cougar Stacking Universe Zerg Spawner? No, it was around here somewhere. I know it was. I just can't remember off the top of my head where it was. Okay, it turns out I can't find where they were. I know they were over that sort of direction, but for 28 members, it's that to me screams that is a holding alliance for another group. So I don't know who's currently living here, but we can probably find out by looking at lost mails. I mean, there's a lot of stuff has been absolutely destroyed around here. So yeah, this has just been. I mean, the glassing is done. All of Horde and renters and affiliates structures have been absolutely destroyed out of Dronelands now. But let's just get back on track here. So Siege Green have taken some systems here, which is good because I hope that they are looking at expanding and recruiting and hopefully get some nice space out here. And, you know, there are some really nice alliances, small alliances that are moving in and getting settled. These guys were in Aquarius, but they are now over here because, you know, it's space that's going for free, essentially. They don't really have to fight much for it. But Slow Children at Play, again, we looked at them. They are based, they do have their space out in Omist, on the bottom, the left-hand side of the region. Again, I don't know if they're going to be moving out of there into the Clava Expanse. But again, it gives them opportunity to grow a bit and recruit more people. They've got some more space. They've got a good number of systems. And they have potential to take more systems across the area, so there is all this left to go in Clava Expanse. So I don't know if they're going to slowly, you know, take system by system, work out the infrastructure and plan it out all that way, or if they're just going to reinforce everything and take it. And I don't know how they're going to work it. I'm going to try and reach out to these guys because I'd like to get their alliance leader on for a chat. As well as some of the other guys, especially the people that are moving in. I want to see if their alliance leaders and what their plans are. Not like delve trying to get information out of them, obviously, just to know who they are, what their alliance is about, what their thoughts are on the new space that they're in, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to try and reach out to those guys. So now down to the sovereignty active sovereignty campaigns, which this shows. If you go onto Dotlan, click sovereignty, it'll show you every reinforced system in EVE, and there are a fair few. Most of it is like Slice and Horde and, you know, Northern Coalition, that all those guys that have moved out and left the space. So they are slowly going to lose their sov over the next couple of weeks as groups move in, and I don't even know if they're going to be sort of like, what's the word? Discussing with each other and who's having what space, and, you know, who's say, for example, you know, boss might say, I want this pocket here, but you can have these ones here, and, you know, negotiating a bit of diplomacy, all that sort of stuff. I think there's a lot to take in here on movements with sovereignty, but until the Dronelands is completely cleared out of Horde, I mean, they still have 117 systems to go, which some of it's left, some of it's not, but I can't see their stuff being, I can't see them having any systems in the next 2 weeks. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But also, they are down to 21,000 members from just literally a gnat's eyelash from under 50,000. They are down to 21,000. So they've lost 29,000 members since it all went horribly wrong. And I've estimated that they would hover at 25,000, if I'm honest. I genuinely thought they would go to about 25,000, then they'll sort of hover there. They've got the people that are just really mad and they've already left. Then they got the loyal PH pilots, and I thought that would be a bit more, I thought around the 25,000 area. But we will keep an eye next week and see if that drops even further. I hope not. I don't want to see Horde completely just vanish like Test Alliance did after the World War B. No offense, Test Alliance, no offense whatsoever. I'm just saying you were a very, very big alliance before the war, and then after the war, Horde poached a lot of the members over, which you can say it's propaganda all you want, but that is what happened. A lot of members left Test and went over to Horde, and spread out that way. And Test is now left with about 6,000 members or whatever it was. We'll have a look at that in a second, actually, because we are coming back to that. But excuse me. So we'll go on to alliance movements now. So this system here tracks movements of sovereignty system. Well, it gives like a leaderboard of who's got the most systems and the most members. Shock Horror, Goonswarm are at the top with the most members because we've gained oh my god, we've gained an ungodly amount of members from Horde. It looks like Horde and Pandemic Family. That was the coalition. Fraternity have gained a lot. Everyone's gained a lot of members, essentially. There's Test Alliance. They were up to. Let's have a quick look, see how far back it goes. Oh, it doesn't go that far back. But Test Alliance had a good 20-odd, 30-odd thousand members, I believe. At the peak of the war, they were up to 30-odd thousand, I believe. And then after the war against Goons, they almost disappeared. Almost. They went down to about 2,500, 3,000 members. And then the new leader has done a good job in building it back up and, getting them back on track with recruitment, building alliance up again, and so on. So they're slowly making a comeback, which is always good to see alliances come back, because it's never good when an alliance completely dissipates off into the ether and is never seen again. The more alliances are in the game, the better, really. And that's whatever way you look at it. So a lot of these movements are, as I said, sorry, this is the leaderboard. So we'll move on to movements now, as we can look at the last 7 days. Another 2,154 members have left Horde. And PIBC, which was the rental alliance for Horde, has almost dissipated completely. So they've been spreading out. I imagine most of them would have gone across to Winter Coalition, unless some of them came over to the Imperium, but not likely, in my opinion. I think they would have probably followed either joined Horde or joined Winter Coalition, because Fraternity gained a lot of members, Goonswarm have gained a lot of members, the Initiative have gained a lot of members, and all these alliances bolstering the numbers is good, because it means they're not all going to one alliance. They're not all going to one group. They've spread out quite a bit, and some people thought, what, Sov Nullsec, it's not for me. Some of them might be trying NPC Nullsec, some of them might be going to Lowsec, some of them might be going to more of a nomadic lifestyle, and that's good, and trying new play styles. So let's have a look here. Fraternity in the last 30 days have gained the most members out of anyone. So 6,645 members have joined Fraternity, followed by the Initiative, who have gained 5,300, and then Insidious has followed by 3,589. PIBC has pretty much almost collapsed with all their members spreading out. Dawn's Light, again, they've gained another 2,000. I'm pretty sure I mentioned them in a few months ago about gaining a load of members, and then the next video, it was like they'd lost all the members. I don't know. And someone told me about Dawn's Light, and I'm really struggling to rattle my brain about what the situation with that was. It was a comment on one of the videos, so I do apologise. I just can't remember what happened with that. Goonswarm gained 2,100 members in the last 30 days. So we've gained 1/3 of the members that Fraternity has. But if I'm honest, I'm glad about that. I'm really glad that a lot of them are choosing other alliances to go to, because in my opinion, this is just my opinion, I think it would have been a real shame if all the people that were annoyed with Horde and whatnot just turned and went, oh, we're all going to go to Goons. Can you imagine if 20,000 people decided, let's go to Goons? It wouldn't be good, in my opinion. That would not be a healthy choice for the game. Don't get me wrong, 64,000 members is a lot of members, and there's a lot of ults in that, bear in mind. That the actual heartbeats would be a fraction of that. But I think we're getting to the point of where Goon Swarm's getting too big. I'm a member of Goon Swarm. I'm saying it's getting too big, but again, that is just my opinion. I don't know if anyone else shares that opinion that's in Imperium, but that's my opinion. I hope I don't get shot in the back of the head for that. So Dracarys have gained quite a few members. Brothers of Tangria, again, they were Northern Coalition's rental alliance, I believe, if I remember correctly. I think I'm correct on that. Someone please correct me in the comments below. And again, as you can see, a lot of them are spreading out nicely to PL, Deepwater Hooligans, Synergy of Steel. Even they've gained some members, which is always good. So they're not actually just going to the main blocks. Because, yes, all these members are gaining a lot of members, but they're also part of the similar block. So Test, Insidious, Fraternity, they're all part of the same block. And then you've got Dracarys, Goons. We're all part of the same block. So it's good that people are spreading out. It's really good that people are spreading out, and that's what I like. And this is the corporations who have gained and lost members. So Blessed Bean, which is like and I think when you first join Horde, if I'm right, you first join Horde and you go into a Blessed Bean as a trial, and then once you get past the trial phase, you go into Pandemic Horde Inc., or it might be the other way around. I cannot remember. I'm so sorry. I'm not 100% sure about the internals. I think that's how it works. It might be the other way around, but I do apologize if I am wrong. I don't always get things right, but when I do. So we have moved. So that is the Alliance movements. We are now going to look at what is called the Eve Daily Sov map. I will. You can get to this by typing into your browser Eve Daily Sov maps, and it'll bring up this, and then you can on the screen you can change the dates. You can go back to all the way back to 2000 and whatever you want. You can go back to any date you want and take a look at the sovereignty on who owned what. So this is the Alliance view, not the Coalition view, because I want to see the alliances, not the coalitions, because we all know which coalitions. So you got Winter Corp here, you got the Initiative there, and you got Imperium down here, apart from, Delve, Quarius, and then NPC. But this was pre-announcement, or on the day of the announcement of Horde leaving PanFam. So this was when the announcement was made. This was, when was this? The date is there. So this is just over 7 days after the announcement was made. So not a huge amount, not a huge difference. Not an actual difference at all, I don't think. No difference whatsoever. But as you can see, a lot of these systems are starting to be reinforced. And then this is today, I believe. Yes, this is today. Look at all those different alliances now. That looks cool. I like that. That's nice to see that there's plenty of alliances coming out, taking space, and a real mismatch of, a real mashup. Not mismatch, a real mashup of alliances all taking this space, and that's good. And Rote Capel, I haven't seen them around for ages. Last time I saw them was when I lived in Syndicate many years ago. Kept siphoning their moons, and yeah, that's always good. So all this space is there's still a lot of space. There's still 117 systems to take. So you've got some Zerg spawner. You got Stacken Universe, again part of PanFam. That French Alliance, they're part of PanFam. were a part of PanFam, my bad. So Slice, and so you got Slow Children, and you got all these guys moving in now, which is really, really good. So it's good to see that there's a lot of alliances taking over this space. We're going to be keeping an eye on this on a weekly basis on this area, to see just how this all unfolds. But also, we are going to be still going to be keeping an eye on Synergy of Steel, Legion of Exdeath, and Only Fleets, because we're going to come into this now, actually, because we're looking at Sov space. So, with the original agreement between Pandemic Horde and the Initiative was that Initiative will help Horde retake a new home or retake space, or, give them somewhere to sit down, regroup, recuperate, get consolidated again. Now, there's not many places they can go. There is not many places in the universe they can go. This was actually mentioned on the Meta Show, and it got me thinking. They're not wrong. They are really, really not wrong. They cannot push into Winterco space because they will not hold that space against Winterco. Very simple. They will not hold that space against Winterco. Horde cannot, especially with them still bleeding members. They're still in a process of people leaving Horde for other places. People coming back to the game, seeing all the stuff in asset safety, and then thinking, right, I'm going somewhere else. There's still a lot of that happening. Now, this section is not meant to, this is not meant to be dumping on anyone. This is not a mud throwing competition, or me throwing anything at anyone, any fecal matter at all. This is me speculating. So again, just remember, this is speculation, not inside news, none of that. So essentially, Horde only have a handful of options because they can't take any Winterco space. We've just said that they cannot take Winterco space and hold it against Winterco without joining Winterco, which would be, I don't think that would happen, let's be honest. They can't go to Dronelands because Winter Coalition and Imperium will not let them back in Dronelands. They're not going back to Dronelands. They are done. That is their time in Dronelands, completely cooked, served, and eaten. Done. Which only leaves a few places. They can either try and maybe see if Red Menace Coalition will let them in. Doubt it. Very, very much doubt it. Delve? Again, very much doubt it. Very, very much doubt they'll be allowed to go in Delve, because I don't think Initiative will want Horde to kick these smaller groups out just so they have got somewhere to crash. They sure as hell are not going to get any Imperium space. I can't see that happening. Maybe, just maybe, they end up in Omist, and I think that would be a horrendous move. And again, this is what I mean. They are very limited options. Or the final option is Lowsec. Go to Lowsec and be a little bit like snuffed out and whatnot, and just roam Lowsec for fights, getting capital drops, black ops drops, or just staging out of NPC. So they could stage out of Great Wildlands, they could stage out of Stain, NPC Delve, Fountain, Venal. They could stage out of anywhere for black ops fleets and all that kind of stuff. But they are very, very limited on where they can go. I think they're probably going to end up going to Lowsec, because I can't see Phoenix Coalition being happy about Horde coming in and taking space. I can't see Imperium giving up space for Horde, unless it's for the reason of to farm them into eternity. They're not going to be able to go back to Dronelands. I highly doubt Winterco will give them any space. Highly doubt it. So they can either join Winterco. Don't think that's going to happen. I don't think they'll join Imperium. I think it's Lowsec. I think Horde are going to end up in as a Lowsec alliance. Personally, that's my thoughts on it based on what I can see. But with the Initiative said that they will help Horde take space, I don't know what that means. They could end up living in Syndicate and Outer Ring. or I don't know. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Because they don't have many options. So what are your thoughts, guys? Let me know what your thoughts on that are below. And it's a real pickle. We'll say that it's a real pickle. Right, let's get into Zkill. So as you can see on Zkill, a lot of the top slot for structures is dominated by the Dronelands glassing, which has gone on. So all of Dronelands has had all of Horde structures, apart from maybe some small ones, but they can be dealt with by whoever, either the new residents or goons constantly going in and just killing the rest, whatever's left of them. And that's Dronelands is glassed, so that's why all the structures is dominated by Keepstars. I think from what I've seen, the goons have set a new world record in EVE Online for killing 5 Keepstars in one day. And so that was a trillion-isk just in Keepstars alone. In one day. And I believe... I tell you what, I will have to listen. I will have to listen to the Fireside where Asher mentioned just how many structures have actually been destroyed. I'll be putting it up on the screen for you now to look at. But just by those sheer numbers, just on the right hand side of the screen, just by that sheer amount of structures dead, that is an insane number. You think 10 years of living in Dronelands, all of it to be picked apart after an alliance. But this is the thing, how like an alliance collapsing in on itself like it did, this kind of destruction would never have happened if they were defending the space. Like, well, when they were defending the space, it would never happen. This only happened because the Imperium were able to, I can say this now comfortably, the Imperium were gating wings of supers all around Dronelands and jumping them around and glassing and destroying every structure, like every large and extra large structure were getting absolutely annihilated at speed. So there was hundreds of super carriers and titans gating around Dronelands, destroying everything. And then there was also your fleets killing every other structure in the way. So that kind of destruction wouldn't have happened if Horde didn't implode. So with that said, there's been trillions. I think the estimated was 10 to 15 trillion in structures alone, not including assets dropped, because some of them were, I believe, from what I've seen, some of them were absolute loot pinatas. They were spewing out corp hangers left, right, and centre. So I believe there was another 20 to 25 trillion looted. And from corp hangers and wrecks and stuff like that. So 10 years was picked apart, 10 years of growth and solidification and, grinding at getting everything set up was picked apart in 2 weeks. But again, that's only because there was no one there to defend it. So with the structures being dominated by Horde structures, it's hard to kind of tell if there's been anything else apart from going back and looking through it all. Which if there was a faction Fortizar that had been destroyed, I think I would have seen it because it would have been up here somewhere, as they are very expensive. So we also have a Revenant down. So let's have a look at this Revenant. This was a member of Black Rose in Geminet. So Black Rose, if you aren't aware, I'm 99% sure they are part of Phoenix Coalition, and they are in Delve. Black Rose Dot. They are in... yes, they are. They have sovereignty in Delve. Yeah, so a member of Phoenix Coalition lost their super carrier, and this was a very expensive super carrier. They are quite rare. I've done one of these in a video before, so there's only been 39 of them destroyed in the last... since they were released, and I think it was 2012, 13? 2012, 13, they were introduced somewhere around there. So Snuffed Out had clearly been hunting this one and keeping an eye out where it was. And Snuffed Out, PL, Null Setish Lupin, the usual suspects for Black Ops gangs on this level. And they were successful in tracking, monitoring, seeing where it's checking its movements, and then finally executing the drop and destroying it. And those are not cheap, as you can tell. So that was a faction super down, which is always nice to see. So again, just following on to the super carriers, this one, it was 100 kilometers off a Stargate. Interesting. So he walked in at range, maybe, I don't know what he was doing, but he had a cloak, so he might have been moving it, but he walked in and he obviously got tackled by a heavy interdictor. Oh, and a Razu, and the Razu got the initial point, and then heavy interdictor got on top of it. So it didn't have anything in it, so it wasn't packed full of items, so he wasn't moving it. He just got caught with his pants down. Is he hyperspatial? Of course he's a hyperspatial. So he might well have been for dropping and then destroying stuff, but he wasn't. He looked like he was cap regen fit. So, interesting. Nvidia Gloria comes, which is an Imperium one, lost in Esoteria in Artak A, RKN. Now, this guy looks like he was running a crab beacon out in the middle of nowhere, and Fraternity obviously clocked him and dropped on him. So if you didn't know, Fraternity have quite a bit of SOV in Esoteria. Let's look at Esoteria. There we are. So they have quite a bit of SOV in Esoteria. So you got Dracaris and Nvidia Gloria comes. So that's where they live. So that's where they run their beacons and all that sort of stuff. And just goes to show you're not always safe. But Fraternity obviously came from Stain and dropped in from there, and they managed to get a nice kill. That is a hell of a nice kill. So it was what? Pythium B, Pythium A, no, Pythium B. Okay, so he had 3 tank mods on, and okay, so he would have been quite tanky. 6.5 million damage taken. That's nice, but yeah, he was lost to whilst running a crab beacon. And yeah, just go back to just to show he was caught out on his own. He wasn't, wasn't in a fleet or anything like that. He was just caught out on his own. So, excuse me, a Seraphil, the Angel Cartel Dreadnought. Again, this one was caught in Amamake. He might have been dropping with other people, and I can't quite see what was going on. Let's have a look at the related kills. And it looks like it was actually in a fleet by the looks of it. A fleet fight in Amamake. Yes, it was. The Initiative. The Initiative. Was he fighting with them, or did he get dunked on by everyone? Deep Water Hooligans. Yes. He was dunked on. Looks like this was a dread brawl between the Initiative and Big Ab or Deepwater Hooligans, and they had the superior force with a lot of Black Ops and Dreadnoughts. And Captain Sarge also dropped his. So it was a bit of Seraphil on Seraphil violence here. But yeah, I think the Initiative with friends just got overwhelmed. Realistically, it looks like, by the looks of it potentially could have been these guys caught something. This is again speculation. These guys could have caught something, called in caps, and then they got counter dropped. So yeah, it looks like these guys might have got tackled, and then they brought more in, and then they brought some in, and they just escalated, and they got wiped by the looks of it. And moving on to, I can't understand for the life of me this one. I really can't. I really can't. Why was this guy carrying 43.5 billion worth of large skill injectors in a blockade runner through nullsec in Veil of the Silent? I don't know. But it doesn't make sense. Unless he's taking them out there to drop them on the market, or he might have been there for a while and he was just collecting them. Because these guys did used to live up in that kind of direction. But Veil of the Silent? It's nowhere near where they used to live. Unless he's coming from there, and I don't know. It's just, I don't know. So I don't even know what to say about these kind of kill mails. It's just like, And this guy, again, I mean, this guy here took a hell of a gamble. Because with Viators, blockade runners, you can't actually cargo scan them, so you don't know what they're carrying. This guy obviously saw the fit, expanded cargo holds, and realised it must have been carrying a lot of stuff if he's fitting cargo expanders, and then the lack of tank, knew it would have been an easy kill. So it's always worth taking that risk. If you see something that's because they also reduce your hull hit points, as he only took 4,200 damage. So if a blockade runner is carrying a lot, he's got full cargo fit and no tank, it's always worth taking the shot, and this paid off for the guy. 24 billion dropped. And as you can tell, it is just a lot of random stuff. So there's a lot of skin stuff in here. There's a lot of like Vorton projectors. Interesting. So I don't know. I can't work out for the life of me. This could have been... I don't know. Again, I'm not sure. I really don't know. He was literally probably about a kilometre from docking as well. Poor guy. But this is why you have a bookmark well within the middle of a Jita station. So when you land, you can instantly dock. And you don't end up a couple kilometres off decloaked in a ship that has absolutely no tank. Unlucky, pal. 41 billion mistake. Just gone up in smirk. Right, so that was... Wait, was that that one? Yes, that was. Okay, get that guy. Right, so we are just going to be looking at the initiative and the fraternity conflict that's going on. So I did see on Reddit, I can't believe I'm going to Reddit more and more often now for information. Some of it's true, some of it's really, really not true, and most of it's propaganda. So just bear in mind what you're reading on Reddit. So this fleet was sent out by, obviously, a fraternity versus the initiative, and this was the initiative Zealot fleet. Yeah, Zealot fleet? Was it just Zealots? Yes, it was. And they actually got hit and dumpstered pretty hard. They did get outformed by... Not by that much. Not by that much, because when you think about it, that's... What? 300 and maths. 300 odd. So they only outnumbered by about 40 or something people, but they must have just got a better position. They must have just got better position on them than Init did. Than Init had initially. But... It looks like a very one-sided fight, and this was in BTAC-D. So just for reference, I just want to show you where that is. And where was it found? Outer Ring, Cloud Ring. That was it. BTAC-D is the entry system from Cloud Ring into Fountain, which is the initiative space. So BTAC-D is the entry to initiative space. So if fraternity can get a good fight, that's where it's going to be. Now then we do come on to this next one. Apparently this was a initial or first real push into initiative space, which happened over a lot of systems for a few hours. Quite a few systems were involved where the fights were going down. And there was Ravens, and there was Cyclones, and Claymores, not Cyclones. And there's Munins and all sorts of fleets going out here. But it looks like Winterco actually took the dumpster in this time round. So Initiative got dumpstered once, and then they returned the favour with dumpstering Winterco at the time. So it looks like they did... Actually, I mean, they had a good brawl. It was spread out over there, but it doesn't look like any of the systems are reinforced. So it wasn't over any timers to do with sovereignty. It might have been over structure timers. The post on Reddit didn't say anything about a structure timer. It was essentially a push into... So it was all to do with... Excuse me. So some of these systems are spread out a bit, but like ZY... So... Yeah, so Pure Blind. So they came in from Pure Blind, and this is where all the fighting was happening in this top pocket. So it looks like they had a really good brawl. And I mean, yeah, Winterco did take the dumpster in on that one, but they did push. They did get a fight. And it was only 21 hours ago. So it was a... just looking at that name. Sorry, my eyes just got distracted by that one then. But it looks like if Fraternity are willing to push into space in a proper, some form of like proper manner, this could start to heat up a little bit. I don't know where this war's going to go, and as I don't think Winterco, I mean Winterco might want to take this region, but I don't know. If you're on Winterco and you know of the plans, let me know. I will not tell anyone else. I will not reveal who told me. But I don't think Winterco are going to take this region. They might do, but I doubt it. But guys, that has been this week's news. A little bit later than expected, unfortunately. And we are looking at getting, obviously we're looking at getting that giveaway sorted. So again, if you are watching all the way to the end, make sure you comment to be entered into that giveaway. If you are new and you've watched all the way to the end, you're an absolute top sausage, and you are majestic in every way. So thank you for watching all the way to the end. I appreciate everyone that does watch to the end. And we can, so if you are and you are not subscribed, make sure to subscribe on that one, and also a like on the video will really be appreciated, please. We are looking at getting towards 6,000 subscribers, and I really need your help on doing that. So if you're not subscribed, it's free to do. I'd appreciate it massively. And also we do have some new members on the channel that have just become members, so huge thank you to you guys. I really appreciate it. I know there's a lot of services out there that ask you to subscribe, like Twitch, and, you know, even if you go on Kick, and a lot of people ask you to subscribe on there to help them. And I appreciate that, you know, with a lot of multiple platforms where you pay to subscribe, I appreciate the fact that you become a member on my channel as well. I really do appreciate it. There's a lot of places asking for money at the minute, and I'm just happy. If you watch all the way to the end, I'm just happy with that. Also subscribe. But I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care.